Welcome to Unswaddled, the Nurture by Naps podcast, hosted by real moms and real nurses, offering up honest and uncensored pregnancy and parenting advice. And now your hosts, the co-founders of Naps and Nurture by Naps, board-certified lactation consultants, and mothers to a small girl gang, Emily Silver, a family nurse practitioner, and Jamie O'Day, a registered nurse.
Hey everybody, it's Jamie and Emily here. Today we wanted to talk about my first maternity leave.
I had a great time on your first maternity leave because
Emily
I was pregnant.
Yeah, she was like 5 months pregnant.
I just rolled up every day to hang out.
Yeah.
Take it all in.
Yeah. I struggled with my first, and she was actually like the textbook baby. Yeah, she was a dream baby. Okay. So let's just like start there. Like I had a phenomenal first child who was super easy for all intents and purposes. And I still like rode the struggle bus for the first few, at least I can remember the first 6 weeks were really, really hard. Now I even hate putting a timeline on it because I think a lot of people
they want a timeline,
or you hear 6 weeks and you think that everything should be better by 6 weeks and it's not. And then you feel like you're fucking up in some way.
Well, yeah, because I did everything that you did and it was 6 months and Grace still wasn't sleeping.
I mean, it's been almost 6 years and Grace still doesn't sleep, but we'll talk about that
on a podcast for a whole other day.
So the biggest thing that there were two sort of big mistakes that I felt like I made with my first. And by mistakes, you guys, I just mean like learning opportunities, right? Like I didn't fuck up my kid. But the first one was I totally fell victim to the concept that I had to do everything and that my worthiness as a mother was measured by my ability to do everything myself.
Well, you made it look good too. Like even I would come over to visit you and I didn't.
Because I thought I was supposed to be like
how you were struggling. You were making like Toll House cookies one time.
I don't remember.
And oh yeah, I remember. We would like hang out in your kitchen with the baby and you just seemed like you had your shit together.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There were some days that were really great and there were other days that were really hard,
right? Dinner and stuff.
Yeah. That's not true. My dad brought me food every day for like 6 days, right? But I definitely, my point being that, I had good days and bad days, right? Like for sure. And usually my worst days were the days that I was like crying and my husband would come home and didn't know how to help and then would reach out to Emily and tell Emily that she needed to send a nurse to my house for the night to help me sleep. And I would tell Emily not to send the nurse.
I would set up nursing care per her husband's messages. And then Jamie would separately message me and be like, I don't need this help. Cancel these shifts.
Right.
And I was like scared of you.
Yeah.
But then I had your husband on the other end being like, we need the nurses, send the nurses.
Yeah. I mean,
now, looking back now today, I'd be like, fuck off, Jamie. The nurse is coming at 10. Right. Well, but I didn't know better then.
Now today, right? If we're comparing my first to my third, by the time I had my third, you guys, I had realized that there was a trend to when I felt overwhelmed and tired and I needed help. And that trend for me personally was like every 3 or 4 nights of interrupted sleep, that like 4th or 5th day was when I was my worst self, right? I was crying. I was not a good mom to my older kids. I was not a good wife to my husband. Like I was not my best self. And so by the time that I had my third, I already knew this trend. And so I had help coming, every 3 or 4 nights. So that happened with time. But the reason why I like talking about it as my experience is because I don't want people to have to wait to fucking have 2 or 3 kids to figure it out. Like I want you to think about like what your trend is and how you can ask for help now and what that looks like.
But here's what's funny is like, and if your family listens to this someday, like when you had Kate, your house was full of people.
Yeah.
Right? Like your house, looking back, it's like a revolving door of traffic.
Yes.
But if I came over to visit you and there were all those people there, it appears that you have all of this help, right? Because you had so many people in and out of your house every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that
wasn't helpful.
Was not helpful.
So I can specifically remember and this happened a couple times, but I'm thinking of one specific day where we had friends who came over to visit. I think it was like 2 couples that came over to visit, and they wanted to meet the baby. And I was sitting, I always fed Kate in this one chair in my family room at the time. And I was sitting in this chair, and all these people were there visiting, and I had Kate in my lap, and I was, it was time to feed her again, or I just finished feeding her. I can't remember, but I can just remember sitting there, and I like could not hear what people were saying. I was so tired. All I wanted to do was like just hand the baby off and go lay down, or just like go and feed her in a quiet room where I didn't have to interact with anybody. Yeah. And I was just sitting in the chair, holding back tears, because I didn't want anybody in my fucking house.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody there. I didn't want to socialize. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to sleep or feed my baby and cry. And it just wasn't helpful.
Not entertain people.
No.
This is like huge, you guys, if you're listening, and it really just defines the difference between visitors and helpers.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And your house does not have to be a revolving door.
No.
I tell people to set visiting hours now, which I know sounds so ridiculous, but it's not. Because I remember all these people, they love you, they want to see you, they want to bring you stuff. I get it. But just because there's so many people that want to see you or check on you, it doesn't mean that your house becomes this like revolving door all day long of traffic in and out and in and out. And then all of a sudden it's dinner time and you're exhausted because so many people came through. Yeah. You can just say like, we are happy to see people. We're seeing people between like 1 and 4.
I mean, or just set the boundary, right? Like my husband and I just said yes to everybody who wanted to come and visit. I don't know why. I think because, they were excited. We were obviously excited because it was our first, but also like maybe there was just some stigma there around saying no to somebody who wanted to come and visit.
There's total stigma around saying no. Like then you feel bad.
Right.
If you say no to somebody and that they bought you a baby gift or they have cookies or food for you.
I just wouldn't be afraid. Right. I just wouldn't be afraid to set the boundary, because most people don't feel bad if you set the boundary. And if they do, quite honestly, you guys, they probably needed the fucking boundary. Anyway. Like if somebody gets upset by a boundary, it's usually somebody who needs the boundary.
That's on them.
Right. So definitely, I do want you guys to relieve yourself of some of the maybe stress or stigma that comes with saying no or setting the boundary, but also recognizing that like people, to Emily's point, like people can come and visit. But they actually have to be, if you're going to welcome them into your home, they actually have to be helpful.
It's funny. You guys can do this right now. If you're listening, like, who those people are, right? Like who are the visitors versus who are the helpers? And maybe they come in a pair. Like my mom is a helper. When I have a baby, she shows up, she does the dishes, cooks me food, holds the baby so I can shower, and just like can be present, and I can cry or breastfeed or sleep, and I don't have to entertain her or worry about her. She's just and I don't have to ask her. My dad, who comes with, is a visitor. He'll literally be on the couch when I'm breastfeeding and be like, what do you guys have for lunch? And all of a sudden I'm like, I think I have some turkey. Like, do you want me to make you a turkey sandwich? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. And then what kind of beer do you have? Do you have some Budweiser? And he's great, by the way. Like if I ask him to hold the baby, he will. Yeah. But he's more of like a visitor. Right. And then all of a sudden I find myself waiting on him. Yep. And I don't even think he intends that, but then I'm like taking care of him. And it's like, no, I don't want to make a fucking turkey sandwich right now for you. Yeah. No.
If you want to make a turkey sandwich for me, that'd be really fucking
great. Maybe for me.
I haven't eaten all day. If you're trying to, there's a couple.
If you are tidying your house up.
I was just going to say that.
And putting a bra on. If you're looking at appetizers, you're preparing for a visitor, not a helper.
Looking for warning signs as to who's a visitor versus a helper. Those are some really good ones.
Wait, if you're changing your clothes, good. Warning signs.
Right. If you're changing your clothes, if you're picking up, if you like feel like you need to like look in the fridge to see what you have to like eat or drink, that like to prepare for this person coming, like that person is a fucking visitor.
I mean,
and they need to come another time.
If you have to put a bra on, that's a huge red flag.
It's a red flag. Yeah. So if you're trying to figure out like, well, no, they do come over and like they will load the dishwasher, but like only if I ask them to.
And I
do have to tidy up.
Like, I don't want to ask them.
Right.
That feels weird.
So that's
visitor.
Yep. Another warning sign is if you feel weird asking them to do something for you in preparation for them coming over or once they get there, and asking them to do something can be stopping at the grocery store to pick up groceries or going grocery shopping, preparing a meal that's either like ready to go or that you can just throw in the oven, asking for them to load or unload the dishwasher, switching the laundry or folding the laundry, or just hold the baby so you can sleep or shower. Yep.
Oh my God, I loved when people would hold my kids so I could eat.
Yeah.
Like that brought me pure joy.
Yep.
Pure joy. Just
like anything, you guys, if you can easily ask somebody to do that for you in preparation to coming to your house or actually coming to your home, and that doesn't feel weird or it's not, and it's not awkward and it's easy, then that person is a helper, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes helpers need a little bit of direction, but that's okay.
Or sometimes helpers are very clearly offering and you need to say yes.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So that's the flip side of it, right? Is that you have people who like don't offer at all. And when they come, you're like tidying up for them and putting on a fucking bra. Like, no, thank you.
No.
Or there's the person who like really is offering to help. Maybe they're just saying, what can I do to help you?
I feel so bad. It's fine. No, I can do it. I'll do it.
So don't be afraid to, when somebody offers you help, they might not be offering to do a very specific task for you, right? The really good helpers are like, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to bring food with me when I come. And when I get there, I'm going to hold your baby while you take a nap or take a shower and I'll throw the dinner in the oven. Like,
by the way, I don't want flowers and wine.
Yeah.
I want food.
Food. Yeah.
When I'm postpartum.
Yeah. Like that person who's going to walk into your house and offer all of those things is a fucking unicorn. They do exist. But that is a unicorn. So stop waiting for that. But when you have the person in your life who keeps asking you what they can do to help, or if there's anything they can do for you, do not tell that person, I'm all set, or we don't need anything. Tell that person what you fucking need.
And if you can't think of anything, then just say, it would be great if you would hold the baby.
Yes.
Because then the minute they're holding the baby, your arms are free for you to go get your coffee, go eat something, or maybe it's a reminder that you're like, this is a great time that I can go take a shower, or just like go sit in the other room for 20 minutes.
Nobody's going to say no to holding the baby. Yeah, like, so if it is an awkward relationship, well, true.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
they're a visitor if they say no to holding the baby.
They can just go.
But sometimes it's awkward, like depending on your relationship, maybe with like, an in-law or whatever, where it's like,
I want her to hold the baby while I shower. I don't know if they'll be okay.
Or not even that. I just mean like, maybe you feel weird asking like, your mother-in-law or father-in-law to like load or unload the dishwasher or something.
Right.
But you could ask them to just hold the baby while you do something for yourself, right? Like they're not going to say no to that.
It's an easy one.
So the takeaways here are, 1, establish the difference between visitors versus helpers, and
watch those red flags.
Red flags and warning signs, and do not allow visitors until you're ready.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to set fucking boundaries. And don't feel bad about them.
And remember, like Jamie said, if you get pushback on a boundary, that person needed it.
Yeah.
They needed it.
Right. So don't feel bad about them. Set the boundaries. You can set the boundaries. Your partner can set the boundaries. Another person who you're close with can set the boundaries. It doesn't matter. So you're going to establish the difference between visitors versus helpers. You're not allowing visitors in your home until you're ready. You can allow helpers if and when you need them, right? Not if, when you need them.
Yeah.
You're going to set boundaries, clear boundaries, you guys. And this is to protect yourself, right? Yep. Your mental health. And then we really want you to think about how you can actually start accepting help from the people who are offering you help, and to not be afraid to specifically tell them what you need them to do to help. And that could be a specific task on their way to come and visit you. That can be something once they're there, that can just be holding the baby. But if somebody is offering you help, stop fucking responding with, no, we're good, I'm fine. And start responding with, yeah, actually it'd be really great if you held the baby while I took a shower.
It takes practice.
It totally takes practice, you guys. Asking for help is a learned skill. So practice with something small. And really maybe like tonight is the night that you sit down with your partner and like you start thinking about like who you really do want to accept help from, who maybe you need to set boundaries with.
Maybe you're trimming down those visitors this week that you already have on tap.
Seriously. And who is an easy person to practice asking for help from?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot, sort of a lot of stuff to think about, but
it's a lot to think about and a lot to do, but it's so good. Setting boundaries, asking for help, it will make you stronger.
And it's also just going to make you feel physically and mentally better. And who doesn't need to feel better physically and mentally at home with a fucking newborn?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So practice, make your list of visitors and helpers, ask for help, set some boundaries, keep us posted on how all of that goes. We want to hear from you. And we'll see you guys again next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, check out our other virtual and in-person offerings. For more information, meet us over at nurturebynaps.com and on Instagram and Facebook, where our handle is Nurture by Naps. We can't wait to see you there.